How's it going, y'all? Welcome back to the Suffer on Purpose podcast. I start this off every single time the same way. It's like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that was going on. I missed 2 weeks of recording the podcast, so I apologize. So I'm going to have to do, a couple of weeks to make up for that. But this past couple of weeks, I've really been gearing up and getting ready for the football camp that I put on. I called it Gridiron Power Project. And the whole theme of this was really because I wanted to create an experience for young athletes that simulates, or I guess is similar to that of an elite athlete or like a Division I athlete. Give them access to great supplements, great food, knowledge, really just inspire them to understand, like, yeah, you might be here, but you can get to here. It's simply just putting in the work. And you don't need access to all these things. All those things were a luxury that we got. We got some amazing sponsors out there. Shout out to Mountain Ops, my dude Trevor over there at Mountain Ops, who they've created an amazing company and culture that is just so giving and so loving, very Christ-centered, which I love. I love that. And they make great tasting products. That's the most important, honestly. The fact that they make supplements that are great, high quality, but great tasting. Because the better they taste, the more people are going to consume them, right? And so if you're consuming good products, that's a plus. So shout out to them. Shout out to Hydro Jug, my buddies over there, Jake and Hayden. I used to work there actually, so that was really kind of them to be able to sponsor that, so the guys can stay hydrated. Underestimated Apparel, my man Danny, clear from Kansas City, was able to ship over some gear for these guys, and I'm super excited. I'm actually going to drop that off today for a lot of these guys, and so it's it was a blessing to get that all put together, and it was a huge challenge for me. The event space is something that I've thought about this for a long time, that I've always wanted to be involved in. I've always wanted to host events. I enjoy hosting. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy having people over. Last night, to thank my family and for all the stuff that they helped us with, we had dinner here at our home. I made steak dinner. It was fantastic, I will say. It was absolutely delicious. And that's just like something I really enjoy, is bringing people together and creating awesome experiences that are very memorable. And that's something that I want to continue to implement and make better with Gridiron Power Project, and really empowering these athletes to understand. And that's why we got some amazing speakers out there. We had head coach Syracuse, one of my best friends, Mitch, Brian Keel, Brian Barong, Josh Holmes. Like, we had these amazing speakers that they were able to put things into perspective for these boys. One thing that was kind of a common theme among, I guess, their successes was really just consistency and hard work and discipline. Like, just being willing to put in the work. There's just so many, I can't blame it all on the youth, but there's so many young guys and even older people today that they just don't want to put in the work. Like, they just do not want to do it. They think that there's some sort of secret sauce to, getting bigger, getting faster, putting on muscle. Like, there's no secret to it. You just got to do the stuff. Do the stuff that's required. Do the work that's required to get the thing done. And this is something that it's really hard to I guess persuade and convince people of that, because it is the harder path. And there's people out there that promise you all these things, right? They promise you these great results or these quick results with very little effort, and that's not real. That's fake, right? I don't care whether it's money, whether it's your health, your relationships, like anything that is promised to be quick. If it is quick, first off, it's going to be very hard, very difficult. But the process is always a slow burn, and it's always 1% better, each and every day. And so that's one thing I want to instill in these guys. But yeah, that was about. I posted the first I guess the first post about that event 3.5 weeks out. So I had about 3.5 weeks to prepare, to get enough guys to meet, the minimum requirements so that we could have a great event, so we could have, enough, I guess, all those guys could get enough stuff from the sponsors and all that kind of stuff. So I had about 3.5 weeks to prepare for it, and that was an awesome learning experience. And, I will say it's like, I didn't have to do this. I do door-to-door sales. I do summer sales. Like, I don't have to do this, but this is something I want to do and I enjoy doing. And, it's kind of funny because even though I enjoy doing it, even though it's something that, I didn't necessarily have to do, I wanted to give it a shot, there's so much resistance that comes with, like, doing something new. And it was at the end of the season too. Like, I was told, like, okay, these guys aren't going to want to go because their season just got over. It was literally, November 9th, which is, there's still people playing football right now. You know what I mean? So, and the fact those guys showed up, it tells you a lot about their character and how much they wanted to get better. But yeah, so much resistance that comes with doing something that is, I guess, doing something that's worth doing, right? And, it's kind of something I wanted to talk about. There's this book I was reading. It's called, man, I already forgot it. It is called Pound the Stone, okay? And the book's about, I read it because I'm in door-to-door. The book's kind of about door-to-door, but it's about this high school athlete that has to go do door-to-door as a punishment, right? But in the end, he learns a ton, makes great money, and, goes on to be very successful. Anyway, but in the book, it talks about artificial maturity, right? This is a concept that, I think a lot of people understand it and know it. They just probably never put it to words, never voiced it. But artificial maturity says here, it's like when someone who is older, right, older than you or, in their older age, and they just act like they are smarter or more wise, but they have like no experiences, right? That's probably one of the most irritating things to me is when people try to give me advice and they've never even done the thing, It's like having an obese person give you advice on nutrition. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. And it's something that's always bothered me when I want to go do something and someone's like, that you maybe should look into this, or, you maybe should, maybe don't do it at this time. Maybe don't do it, but it's like they've never done it before. So it's like, why not just give people, all the hope and all of the encouragement in the world to go and do something. Like, why not do that? Because at the end of the day, like, no one knows anything. It's like everybody thinks that they're the expert at something with almost little to no experience, and it's all just pessimism. And so, anyway, that's one thing that I wanted to hit on is like don't be afraid to just go and create experiences for yourself. Don't be afraid to go and do something. If you really want to do it and you're called to do it, just go do it. And don't ask for validation or advice. If you're going to ask for advice, ask advice for someone who's done the thing, who has done something similar to that, is in that domain of reference. It's like if I want to, like knocking doors, great example. I want to learn from people who are better than me at knocking doors and at selling at a high volume, right? Because that's ultimately going to, if I just copy and paste what they do, it's going to give me some sort of success, right? And so, but if there's people that haven't really done what you're doing, like, just go do it and see what happens. And if you fail, which it's not really a failure because you're just learning, it's okay because it's just a learning experience and it's just a stepping stone to make the thing better or to get to where you want to be. So that's number one, is like go create more experiences for yourself, and don't look for validation. Just go do the thing, and you're going to learn and get feedback faster by failing. The second one is, don't be afraid to look stupid. I was talking to my sister about this last night. My sister's an amazing tree decorator. She goes and does these like amazing luxury bougie looking trees for people, and nobody, it's like she doesn't put it out on social media, which is, totally fine, no big deal. But if you're only not making things public, I guess, because you're afraid of looking stupid or what people think, like that's a dumb reason to not do something. Right? Like if you have a great product or service, or if you have, something that you can offer to the world, some sort of talent, and you're not doing it because you're scared to look stupid, that's stupid. That's literally like the definition of stupid. And I think if we could just get over this fear of being too cool to go do something, or too cool to look incompetent for a while, because you have to look, stupid or incompetent at least the first time you do something, and then you might become an expert, very quickly. You just never know. But you would only know if you're willing to look stupid in the first place. So be willing to look stupid. That's number 2. And then, life, I heard this quote the other day: life is about becoming, it's not about obtaining, right? And so if you think about when you're in the process of doing something, no, that's a bad example. So if you're wanting to, I guess a lot of people have the either monetary goals, or they have goals of obtaining a certain object, whether it be like a house or a car or a girl, like whatever, And I think it's good to have a goal, right? But we have to focus on like who are we to be able to obtain that goal, right? Like if you're just wanting to get something, and you're not becoming a new person or a different version of yourself, like odds are you're probably not going to get that thing. And if you do, it's probably not going to last, because your character, your talent level, or your skill level hasn't changed. And so if you're going to chase something, like you need to focus on what would the person that has that thing, what would they be doing? What would they be like? What would their character be? How would they treat people when no one's looking? What would they be doing when no one's looking? How hard would they be working? And so that's really the key to it all. Is like it's more about becoming the type of person that would actually get the thing that you actually want. You can obtain lots of, I think, things in this life. You can get money, get houses, get cars. You can get all these things by, working hard and screwing people over. But it's like, what's at the end of the day, if I lost everything, I know I can make it all back because of the type of person that I am and the type of skill level that I have. And that's the most important thing to me, is my skill level. My skill level and the type of character that I have and how I treat people. So remember that. Don't be afraid to do stuff. It's about becoming, and go create more experiences for yourself. I don't care how old you are, whether you're a young kid or in your 40s, 50s, 60s. Like, just go be willing to create more experiences and enjoy life, and just work hard at everything. It's like, yeah, that was a quote that was said at the camp by one of our speakers. Like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I'll leave it at that. We'll see you next week.